Now in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to find the perimeter of plane shapes, and we're going to work in algebra. We're going to first review simplifying algebraic expressions, and those are just expressions in algebra. We're going to also review how to find the perimeter of a plane shape, what that means. We're going to now examine the steps in finding the perimeter of plane shapes using algebra as our method. Or we're going to have sides that have variables in them, and then we're going to walk through some examples together. So let's get started. When you're simplifying algebraic expressions, always remember PEMDAS, which just is what we call it for dealing with order of operations. So we're going to be working with order of operations, and then we're going to group common terms together and solve the common terms. So now when we look at PEMDAS, the first thing we always like to do is to deal with parentheses. So here there's a 1 out here, so it's going to be 3x plus 2, and then we're going to distribute the negative 2 into the expression here. So this is minus 4x minus 8. So we now have to group common terms together. So 3x minus 4x plus 2 minus 8. 3x minus 4x is minus x. 2 minus 8 is minus 6. So this is the solution to this. This is the simplified version of this expression given. So the perimeter of a plane shape of any object is, you can look at it as the distance around an object. So if I have an object that looks like this is a triangle. So the perimeter is the distance around this object, which also indicates that you're adding up the length of all of the sides of the object. So now let's look at this example. What is the perimeter of a rectangle whose length is 14 and width is 8? So I'm going to just draw a rough rectangle here. So I have 14 here, I have 8. With a rectangle, I also have 14 here and 8. So the perimeter here is going to be 14 plus 14 plus 8 plus 8. So we have 28 plus 16, which is equal to 44. And we're going to have meters here. Alternatively, the perimeter is going to be, because you have you have two pairs of equal sides, and so we're going to just add one pair and just multiply by 2, which is 2 multiplied by 22, and that gives you 44. So these are two ways to look at perimeter. This method here, the method of adding all the sides together, is probably going to be the best method we're going to use here. But if you want to do it this other way, it's fine as well. So let's look at some examples and see what we're going to be doing. But first, we're going to look at how we're going to arrive at the perimeter of plane shapes. We're going to first identify the length of each of the sides. Remember, in a perimeter, we're adding all the lengths together. We're going to add, once we identify the lengths, we're going to add the lengths together and then simplify whatever expression we create from adding the lengths together. So what is the perimeter of a rectangle whose length is 6x minus 7 feet and width is 3x plus 5 feet? So I'm going to roughly draw a rectangle. So let's draw a rectangle. Okay, so that's our rectangle. We have length is 6x minus 7, width is 3x plus 5. So we said earlier that you have 3x plus 5 here as well. And then you have 6x minus 7 here as well. So perimeter is the length of all the sides, so which is going to be 6x plus 7. Remember I said you can actually multiply by 2 because there are two instances here. I'm going to use this method and I'm going to show you the other method as well. And then we're going to also add 3x plus 5, multiply that by 2 because there are two instances of that. Now let's apply PEMDAS. Is it 6x? It should be 6x minus 7. So it's a minus here, not a plus. So 6x minus 7. So you have 12x minus 14 plus 6x plus 10. So now we're going to group common terms together. 12x plus 6x minus 14 plus 10. This is going to give you 18x minus 4. So that is going to be your perimeter, 18x minus 4 feet. So let's try the second method, which is adding all the sides together. So perimeter here is going to be 6x minus 7 plus 3x plus 5 plus 6x minus 7 plus 3x plus 5. Now we're going to group common terms together. So we have 6x plus 3x plus 6x plus 3x minus 7 plus 5 minus 7 plus 5. So this is going to give you 6 plus 3, 9 plus 6, 15 plus 3. We have 18x minus 7 plus 5, that's minus 2, minus 7, which is minus 9 plus 5, which is minus 4. So you see that we get to the same answer. So I like this method better when you're dealing with rectangles, but when you're dealing with triangles, this is probably going to be the better. This other approach is going to be better, but when you're dealing with rectangles or squares, most likely you can use this. Now we have a triangle here. We want to find the perimeter. So we're just going to add all the sides together. So perimeter is going to be 2x minus 5 plus 2 multiplied by 5x minus 1 plus 4x plus 7. So we're going to, PEMDAS means we're going to distribute. So I'm going to keep everything the same except the middle term, which we have to distribute. 2x minus 5 plus 10x minus 2 plus 4x plus 7. So this is going to give you, now we're going to group common terms together. So 2x plus 10x plus 4x. And then we have minus 5 minus 2 plus 7. So this is going to give you 2x plus 10x. That's 12x plus 4x, 16x. Minus 5 minus 2 is minus 7 plus 7, that's 0. So this is 16x. I'm going to put this in parentheses to show that this is the unit for the sides there. Now the perimeter of a trapezoid. Perimeter here, we just added all the sides together. So the perimeter here is going to be 3 multiplied by x minus 1 plus 2x minus 9 plus 4 multiplied by 2x plus 3 plus 5x minus 12. So let's go ahead and distribute. This is 3x minus 3 plus 2x minus 9 plus 8x plus 12 plus 5x minus 12. So we're going to group all our common terms together next. So we have 3x plus 2x plus 8x plus 5x. And now our numbers, we have minus 3 minus 9 plus 12 minus 12. So this is, now we can add our common terms together. 3 plus 2, 5 plus 8, 13 plus 5, we have 18x. Minus 3 minus 9, that's minus 12 plus 12, which is 0 minus 12. We have minus 12, and this is in feet.